ما حد يعمل ميوت، ما حد يعمل ميوت إذا سمحتوا. يلا. أنا حكيت ما حدا يعمل ميوت. طيب. What is the atmosphere? What is atmosphere?
Can I?
Raise your hand. Farhana.
Is the layer of mixed gases that surround Earth.
Again.
Is the layer of mixed gases that surround Earth.
Excellent. Thank you very much. What are the main gases in the atmosphere? Selma, what are the main gases of the atmosphere?
Carbon dioxide.
Good. Okay, but it's not the main gas.
Water vapor.
But thank you, Selma. Thank you very much. Tala Farah.
Nitrogen, oxygen, and gases
Yes.
such as carbon dioxide and argon.
The most abundant gases in the atmosphere are nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen makes sedin. What is the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere?
78.
Yes, 78%. What about oxygen? Hassan Alawna.
Oxygen.
طيب, Ahmed Abu Khayt.
Mr. Kenai?
Ahmed Abu Khayt, listen to Ahmed.
21%.
Thank you very much. طيب حسن علاء ونسرين خليك مركز معنا حسن ماشي طيب اوكي ثانك يو مين طيب is the atmosphere important for us for air?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Sarah, you can answer, Sarah. No one, please, no one answer or no one make a comment without taking a permission. Can you tell me how atmosphere is important for us?
Prevents the UV rays to enter the earth and hurt people.
Thank you very much. Ultraviolet rays, as you know, sunlight, there are some rays or some types of rays that come from the sunlight are very harmful or harmful to living things like ultraviolet rays. The atmosphere block or absorb these rays and prevent it from entering the Earth's surface. That's fine. Thank you. Also, who can tell me another thing? How the atmosphere is also important. There is another thing. Ghassan, can you tell me? طيب سديد يلا.
It does not let the UV rays like come on the earth.
Yes, that's right. We mentioned this. Also, there is another thing. Tala. ما حد يعمل ميوت لو سمحتوا. طيب ملاك ما حد يعمل ميوت. تالا, can you add anything, another thing? طيب, you forget to say that. Okay, Tala, continue.
I don't know. Maybe.
The atmosphere also traps some of the heat that leaves Earth's surface. This keeps the atmosphere warm enough to support life. Look at the last three lines. The atmosphere also traps some of the heat
Some of the heat
that
that
is
the earth.
this keeps the atmosphere warm enough.
Oh,
طيب, what do you mean by visible light? What is visible light?
Mr. Which page?
This is page 114. طيب, what is the visible light? Sadim.
Is the light that
طيب, يلا continue Sadim.
ميمي سعد.
نعم.
ميمي.
Who's talking? أحمد.
Mr.
طيب أحمد أبو خير.
الشمعة.
أحمد أبو خير تفضل.
That
أيوة أحمد.
yes, the visible light, the light can we see?
Excellent.
We see it.
The part of the light. طيب. Listen to me, please. Put your hands down. طيب. Wait. طلع. Not humans. We can't see all of the light, or the light that you see, the light in general. Light we can't, or humans cannot see, okay, humans cannot see all parts of the light. In general, in fact, we see a very small section or part of the light. This part is called the visible light. Okay? But in general, the light has there are other types of light that we can see. This type of the light that we can see is called what? Who can tell me? Invisible. So you have to distinguish between invisible light and visible light. Humans can see a very small section or part of the light. This is called the visible light, like the colors of
rainbow.
Rainbow. Light. Okay, the invisible light, the part of light that we cannot see. Okay, example of the invisible light, the ultraviolet rays. Okay, ultraviolet rays is invisible. We can't see ultraviolet light. Also, the infrared light. Infrared. Also, the gamma rays, for example. Gamma rays. Inshallah, you will take these types of light later, inshallah. But just you have to know. So, you don't see all of the light. You just see a very, very small section. This section is called the visible light. The visible, okay, visible. Other part of the light is invisible for us. By the way, did you know that some animals or many animals see colors or see things that we can't see? Also, they can hear things that we can't hear. But in general, I'm talking about humans. Only a small section or a very, very small part of the light our eyes can detect or can see. This part of the light is called visible light. Other part of the light or the majority of light is not cannot be seen by humans. This part of the light is called invisible. Invisible, like ultraviolet rays. Fine. Let's. Okay, who's talking?
Sarah.
Sarah, تفضلي.
Mister, the animals see the world in a different way because
Yes.
their eyes see different things than us.
Thank you very much. So, for example, يعني لو كان في عندي صورة بورجيكم إياها the bees النحل bees can see the flower or can see other colors in the flower that different. For example, if we look at the same flower, it looks different by the bee. Okay, the bee or bees can see it in a completely different color. Okay, but
Hello.
is it clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But let's who can answer this question?
What the question?
Look at this question. Suppose that the atmosphere was only half as thick as it is now. The atmosphere has a thickness. Suppose that the atmosphere was only half as thick as it is now. What effect might this cause on Earth's biosphere? What is the effect of this on the Earth's biosphere, on the living things? But please, before answering the question, look at this point. I want to remind you again that the atmosphere protects us from ultraviolet rays. Okay? The atmosphere allows most visible sunlight to pass through it, warming Earth's surface. And the atmosphere also traps some of the heat that leaves Earth's surface. This keeps the atmosphere warm enough to support life. This is the importance of atmosphere. Again, the atmosphere absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet rays. These rays are harmful to living things. And also it traps most of the heat that leaves Earth's surface, which keeps the Earth warm. Now, my question now, suppose that the atmosphere is smaller or only half as thick as it is now, or it is thinner than it is now. What is the effect of this will be on living things, on biosphere? Can anyone answer this question? Fine. Sarah, يلا.
Mister, the Earth will not catch heat, and the ultraviolet rays is going to enter Earth, and we're not going to see and we're not going to see a visible light.
Excellent, Sarah. Thank you very much. Are you agree with her?
No.
Type. Is there anyone who likes to add anything? Exactly, Sarah. Thank you very much. If the atmosphere, yes, okay, Saad, what do you want to say?
The Earth is going to be very hot.
No, the Earth will be very colder because the atmosphere will trap less heat than it is now. So it will be colder. Also, we can say that more of the harmful rays, more of the harmful rays like ultraviolet rays can enter the air surface. Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you, Asad. طيب, inshallah, I will send you the answer later. طيب, go to the next page, please. Is it clear today?
Yes.
Now, hydrosphere. طيب, لا, before that, how do the hydrosphere and the atmosphere interact? how the hydrosphere and the atmosphere interact. How would you show that in a model? طيب, without a model, يعني, who can tell me how the hydrosphere and atmosphere interact? استنى شوي. Please, I told you at the beginning of this unit that all spheres, all the parts of the Earth system, atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, geosphere, all of these parts of the Earth system always interact. They exchange matter. They exchange energy. They don't work alone. They depend on each other, if you remember. So, can anyone tell me how the hydrosphere and atmosphere interact? طيب, hydrosphere is all of water that exists on Earth. Atmosphere is all of the gases. How they interact? يلا. Can anyone tell me? طيب. يلا.
Me.
يلا مين؟
أنا
طيب لا listen to حسن. It's حسن. يلا حسن علونا.
When water heated from the sun, it will evaporate and it will be a gas. It's go to the atmosphere
Excellent.
and go one more time to the air.
Excellent حسن. طيب سدين. Do you have anything to add? Excellent حسن. Thank you.
I was going to say the same, but when water boils, it will go to it becomes gas and goes to the atmosphere.
Thank you, Sadie. But the not water boils when it evaporates. يعني the water evaporates, not boil. يعني in the atmosphere or on Earth. Okay, it doesn't need to boil water in order to become water vapor. If you remember, it doesn't need to boil. Just evaporation can make it a water vapor. Tala, do you have anything to add?
No, I was going to say the same.
Ghassan, do you have anything?
No.
Ghassan, do you have any questions or comments? Do you understand?
Yes.
طيب. Sarah Rawajde.
Mister, and also when it rains, it gets back to the hydrosphere.
Okay, no, when it rains, when precipitation falls, thank you, Sarah, but when precipitation falls, it moves. يعني precipitation is, we mean precipitation is hydrosphere. يعني precipitation is part of the hydrosphere. In this case, when precipitation falls on Earth, it goes to the geosphere because it may go to the soil, to the underground, and also it may move to the oceans or also stay in the atmosphere, in the hydrosphere. But in general, water is part of the hydrosphere. It moves by the atmosphere. So the hydrosphere contains all water and air. It is carried to different parts or to different places by the atmosphere. يعني the answer is that water that is part of the hydrosphere is carried by atmosphere to different places. Rania, do you have any question?
No.
Fine. Let us continue. Let's continue. Now, the hydrosphere and atmosphere together. As you know, hydrosphere is all air, all water and air. Atmosphere is all gases that surrounds the air. Now, let's see how they work together. Right, the hydrosphere and the atmosphere constantly interact. Constantly, يعني, what is the meaning of constantly? Means always. They are always interact. They are always exchange matter. They are always exchange. They don't work alone. They depend on each other. Fine. For example, let us see how they interact. Now, both rain and snow are common in many parts of the world. Fine. As you know, rain and the snow, both of them are part of the hydrosphere, and they are very common in many parts of the world. the temperature of the air affects the precipitation that will fall. Right. I want to remind you something. In areas, in colder areas, in very, very cold areas, most of precipitation falls as what? Who can tell me?
Snow.
Tala?
Snow.
Yes, that's right. Yani, when it is very, very cold or in mountains or very cold areas, most of precipitation falls as a snow. But in warm areas like here, Jordan, Irbit, for example, most of the precipitation falls as rain. Anyway, this depends on the temperature. Type. Okay, another example of, so here, look, in this example, the type or the kind of precipitation depends on the atmosphere. Again, the kind of precipitation depends on the atmosphere, on the temperature of the air, of the atmosphere. So here there is an interaction. This again, both rain and snow depends on the temperature of the air or on the temperature of the atmosphere. This is an example of interaction. Another example of hydrosphere and atmosphere working together is a hurricane. What is a hurricane? This is a hurricane. Okay. Now let us see how the hurricane happens. Okay, a hurricane is a large swirling tropical storm. It is a very strong storm.
بس ما صار شيء صحيح.
اوكي طيب يعني الحمد لله انه ما بيجي عندنا هوريكينز اللي هي خلينا شو اسمها بالعربي الهوريكينز اللي هي بالعربي نسيت.
بركان.
ايش هو؟
بركان.
نو بركان اللي هو فولكينو. الهوريكين
إعصار.
اعصار بالضبط. A hurricane is a large tropical storm. Hurricanes bring damaging winds. يعني the winds or the hurricane are very strong. They are damaging and a lot of rain. They form when a lot of water vapor enters the air due to evaporation of warm ocean water. If conditions are right, tropical storm produces clouds that spiral like the clouds shown in the photo. Right. Now, the wind in the storm distinguish or make a clear difference between a storm and a hurricane. So, here, formation of hurricanes depends on the or on the atmosphere again. So, يعني, it's just an example. So always I want you to know that hydrosphere and biosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere are always linked together or they interact with each other. طيب. This is the end of the meeting. Okay, please solve this.
How do the hydrosphere and atmosphere interact?
طيب, okay. This is an example. يعني, okay, إن شاء الله. Time is over. Inshallah, I will repeat this page tomorrow. I will repeat it.
Mister?
Okay.
Mister?
Who's talking?
Send the video. Please, again. Please, again.
Okay, تفضل يا سيدي.
Why don't you send the videos of the lessons?
Why what?
Don't you send the videos of the lesson?
طيب إن شاء الله راح أنا I sent the previous videos but the video of yesterday lesson I didn't do it yet. Inshallah I will send you to I will send it today inshallah. Fine. Thank you, Sadiq. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.